temperature right around 90 degrees. Wind gusts in between 25 and 30 miles an hour. Tonight, a chance for some severe thunderstorms to our north and west. I think we'll stay dry here in Lincoln. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, the high of 83, and then low 80s again coming up for your Friday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Doudna for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Bill Mitchner.
What is up, everybody? This is not Bill Mitchner. This is Drew Haverman. Bill's actually gone this week. He is actually celebrating one of our Lighthouse youth's college graduation. So it's always something that's we prioritize at Lighthouse. But welcome to Be a Beacon. This is going to be a show, we kind of shine a light on the people in our city who are making a difference for the kids and for the community. And today we're going to be talking about kind of the forgotten group, in my opinion, which is middle school. And I kind of think we have I don't want to say a middle school expert, because who's an expert on middle schoolers, right? But we definitely have somebody who I think is making a big difference in the community. We have the associate principal at Town Middle School, Colin Clare.
Thanks for having me on, Drew. And man, I could say the same thing. For sure, I'm definitely not the expert, but if there is an expert, it's you. And appreciate the work that you do with our students. At our board meeting a couple weeks ago, I spoke about just the impact that you have, and we appreciate all that you do. So
for sure. And that goes both ways, because my program with ASP, we can't even be functioning if we don't have teamwork with the admins at the schools. So, and I was going to save this for later, but I just wanted to let you know that I do find you as one of the best admins we have in the LPS, is because there's a lot of things that these admins, these associate principals are working on that we don't even know about. But one thing that is super important that, Colin, that I'm so happy that you do is you come and visit the kids at ASP. You bring them their homework, you bring them assignments, you just come by and say hi. And you may not get the thank you from them that you deserve, but that is something that is very respectful, because not many admins are doing that. So I just want to make sure I let you know that. Always show my gratitude for that.
Yeah, man. Well, I enjoy coming out there. I think it's a good middle ground, when kids are over there before they return back, and it's a good opportunity for us to kind of rebuild that bridge. And we have a district that really invests in restorative practices and making sure that we're restoring those relationships with kids when they potentially are harmed. And anytime there's a negative consequence, it's natural human instinct to kind of feel like I was almost betrayed or there's some sort of damage to the relationship. And even if there's not, it's still a good opportunity to build them back up before they come back. So appreciate the opportunity to let me do that. And, there's a lot of really good administrators out in our district, and we're fortunate to have leadership, not just within buildings, but within the district office too, that really work hard to ensure that we're impacting kids every single day in a positive manner. And, I appreciate those kind words, because there's a lot of really, really, really solid people that I lean on and learn from every day. So
there are, and you've definitely learned a lot, which is what it's all about, really, is progress and learning. And it's kind of cool though, after you leave, the kids always have this like confidence about them, or like they're almost like bragging that their admin came and saw them, while the other kids are like, when's my admin gonna come? And then there comes usually a little bit later. But it's always kind of funny watching them be like proud to say that you're one of their principals, because that doesn't happen that often, but they are very proud of Pound, which is awesome.
that's awesome.
I do want to kind of go back a little bit, because me and you kind of met even before Lighthouse, even before Pound. When you were at Southeast, my wife was working over there too, and she always talked about Mr. Claire is one of the best. He's one of the best over there. All the kids love him. All the kids. I was like, okay, let me meet this Mr. Claire guy, and then lived up to the expectations. So, do you have any going from high school back to middle school? What was that transition like?
So I've never been. I had never been in a middle school except for, during like a practicum in college. Spent a little time at a middle school. And I've had really solid mentors, but one of my mentors, Ross Dirks, former associate principal at Pound, 14 years there, he would occasionally come by, or he's retired, he'd fill in as a sub. And the coordinator that was hired on the same year that I joined on as associate principal was from elementary. And it was very interesting, the structure difference. And so he came by and he asked both of us, what's the difference between high school to middle school? And then what about from elementary to middle school? And my first response was, so much structure.
Yeah.
And the elementary, our coordinator said, there was a lot more structure in an elementary school.
Yeah.
And so it's that happy, it's a little bit of a balance. What I have enjoyed in my time in middle school is the minds are very moldable.
Yeah.
And not that they're not in a high school, but you get a sixth grader that comes in, they're open to feedback. Yeah. And what a cool opportunity. You have 3 years to get them prepped for high school.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy that. I've enjoyed the energy. I will say there are days that I get home and the energy is exhausting, and you got 30 minutes for lunch and recess. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot. And when I talk to my brothers or my dad or friends about got to go and supervise recess, they kind of chuckle. And I'm like, no. Yeah. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I wish that I could bring them in so they could see it. But those 30 minutes make or break the rest of the day.
100%.
And you could have a really good 6th grade lunch, but 8th grade lunch is not so good. And then 8th grade is off the rails for the rest of the day. And so that's where I've really admired and learned so much about structure. That I every year could get better at structure.
Yeah.
And it's not anywhere near perfect right now, but that's really been a big shift for me. Going back to your original question, what have you seen from the difference between that? Is structure matters for those young kids. While they are moldable minds, it's important that you build in a structure because they're 11, 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
But as you get closer to 8th grade, they start getting a little bit more independent, and that's cool to see them go from 6th to 8th grade, taking what you've taught them and building partnerships with families, teaming together to help their kids. At the end of the day, those are still the same. It takes a village is what I always talk about. And one of my coworkers talks about she always mentions it's a privilege to be a part of your village. And I love hearing that.
I love that.
it's all the same, whether you're in middle school or high school. It still takes a village.
Yeah.
They're just a little bit younger.
Yeah. Going back to what you said kind of about recess, because I used to work, at Leffler Middle School, and I remember one day specifically, it was a Saturday, and all of a sudden I just kind of got this anxiety, and I was like, where's this anxiety coming from? And I was like, oh, it's 10:45. It's almost lunchtime usually. That's where this anxiety is coming from. You're right. That lunch can make or break the day. And it's kind of funny that, like, explaining that to somebody who's not involved in it, or a person who's not in the teaching world, or who's not working with kids, they're going to be like, oh, you just played with kids all day. What do you mean? You cooked them lunch and you went and played basketball? It's like, no, they unloaded a ton of their traumas, a ton of their mental health issues, a ton of their positives, a ton of their negatives, all on you. And you just have to kind of hold it and try to figure out what to do with it. And not many people in their jobs have to deal with other people's problems on a day-to-day basis. And that's something that teachers kind of, I think, get overlooked a little bit, and of course admins as well.
Well, I mean, it's so nice to be able to, at Pound, we have unbelievable support staff.
Yeah.
Our counselors are phenomenal. Our social workers, incredible. Our teaching staff, they do an amazing job. They're very passionate about what they do.
For sure.
And I, as an administrator, it's more so let's go to the experts and figure out what do you want, what do you suggest?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have those answers. It's not my area of expertise. But if we can partner with these families in our little village, right? And have the people that have the expertise making the calls, that's really where you start really making a positive impact, and helping shape minds for those individuals to go out and eventually be positive contributors to our society. That's the cool thing about education, is we have an opportunity to do that with every kid that walks through our doors. And what a great opportunity.
Bold in the future. It's funny you said that, because we say that at ASP a lot. We say, let's ask the experts. Let's ask the experts, and the experts are their kids. So it's always like, well, should we do this or should we do this? And it's like, who are we doing this for? Let's ask if they actually want to do this. And they'll give you the answer. They'll let you know if they want to do it or not want to do it. That's for sure. I guess kind of going back to that, what is something that you wish that more adults kind of understood about what your staff is actually doing on a day-to-day basis? Because it's not just teaching, it's molding, it's, mentoring, right?
Yeah, I just got chills when you said that. Truly, we are the safe place for a lot of kids, and to be able to have them come in and feel as though this is my place.
Yeah.
And with that comes challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think about my upbringing. I felt safe at home, and so unfortunately my parents weren't always treated the greatest by me.
Yeah.
And it's because I felt comfortable around them. And I would always act very prim and proper around adults that I didn't feel as comfortable around as my parents.
Yeah.
And so, our teachers play a big role with those kids. Unfortunately, some of them get that defiance, and that's just a natural thing. But they stick with them. And that's what I just respect so much about our teachers, is they teach kids content that they're supposed to, to meet objectives that the state wants us to hit, while also helping them become better people.
Yeah.
And they do that through partnering with families, because our families are, that's the other thing about, the community that I work within right now, is that we have incredible families that want the best for their kids too. And again, what a awesome opportunity to be able to partner with them. But back to teachers, man, they're the backbone of our community. And without teachers, without good teachers, like I work with every day, it would be an interesting it'd be an interesting world that we live in, because they do so much to help our our students on a daily basis. Even when there's days where it's like, man, I am exhausted, they get themselves going and they do great work.
Yeah. It's one of the few jobs where it's truly leave your issues at home at the door, because like you can't bring your problems in that because you don't know what the other kids or the students are having to deal with at home too. That's where the kind of I feel like the mental toll takes is like you have to be on for them all the time, and you don't even have a chance for them to be like there for you because it's just so important to be there for them.
Yeah.
But we do have times where we have these kids who, you know, I'm arguing with myself, I guess. We have times where these kids are there for us too. And it proves to you why you chose that job, which is, I think, really important to always have, you know. So how would you define success, I guess, in your role? Would it go down to like, is the graduation rates? Because you're in middle school, so you know your students are going up to high school. You're prepping them for high school. Do you think the prep to freshman year is as important, or are you prepping them for senior year?
There's always, I would say that, yeah, of course, I like looking down the road. My former students, I still check their grades on not a daily basis. I would say probably more of a biweekly to monthly basis. But I check in with them to see. They have no idea that I do that.
Yeah.
But I pull up their stuff to see how they're doing, because I do like to feel that like, hey, they're doing great work, and that would be success.
Yeah.
But also it's, I've told the story before about, I've told the story about how I had a student that I worked with as a 6th grader that's now an 8th grader, and she now comes out to Lighthouse on a day, I think almost a daily basis. But she was in my office after school because she was serving time with me after school, and we just started talking. I just said, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And she said, I think I want to do something along like in the trade industry. And I just mentioned the tip program. She's like, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, it's a program through Lighthouse. Have you ever heard of Lighthouse?" She's like, "No." And since then, I gave her some information, and she's been riding the bus almost daily, unless she found a carpool. There was another individual that came to us later on this school year that goes to Lighthouse as well, but she'll carpool. But otherwise, she'll take the bus, and it's 45 minutes there, walk 4 or 5 blocks, 4 or 5 blocks back, 45 minutes back. And that shows. I think that that has been my success, that I have seen or felt like, okay, there is a solid foundation now. There's something there. Even with, I'm not expecting that individual to be perfect all the time, but if there's a mistake made, there's still a foundation. And I talk about building your house on sand versus rock. If the rain comes, she's not going to wash away. She's may get a little dinged up, but at the end of the day, because of the work that you guys do through Lighthouse, and you guys see that every day with ASP, that you make a difference. You help provide that foundation. And so even if it's like referring people, getting people to go and trust in these community organizations, that's success too. So, I mean, it's a little different. And yeah, I mean, there's data behind it, and we want to look at the data too, because that matters. And that's a number that gets printed. But there's wins within that I feel not success for me, but feel really darn proud of our community, our people, our kids, our teachers. The other one is just making jobs easier for teachers. Right. Like if we can help them grow in their instruction, if we can help them grow in different ideas, hey, have you thought about this, this, and this? Like that's a support to teachers too. And it's a really vulnerable position. I've been there. Like as a teacher, it's hard to say, I need help. Can you come and watch my class? That's a really, really tough thing to say. And so being able to have teachers reach out for support, that's another success for me, because it means that there's trust built there, there's relationships built there. And I admire people for doing that, because we're all growing. I mean, you have to ask for help if you want to grow as a person.
My mom was a teacher for 40 years, and that was one thing that she always stressed, was she could always tell who was going to be a good teacher and who was going to probably fizzle out, because the good teachers would ask the older teachers for help. They'd ask the admins for help. They'd ask the principals. They'd ask other schools. They'd ask middle schools. all that for help because you're constantly learning, and these kids are constantly adapting and evolving too. So you can't stay stagnant. Just keep thinking your way is the way. It's not going to work like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's we all got to lean on each other, and that's a great thing about a team. So
Now, what high school and middle school did you go to?
I went to Lux Middle School, and then I went against the grain a little bit. Went over to Southeast.
See, I mean, you're very similar. I went to Lux Middle School for a little bit too, and went to Pound where you work now, and then I went to Southeast also. So it's just cool though to see I mean, for me, I went back and worked a little bit at Pound, just kind of doing what I do at Lighthouse. And it's always fun to go back and walk the halls and see like, oh man, that was my old locker. Now it's someone else's locker. Oh, that's the same gym. That's the same that. Do you have ever times where you go back into Lux or you go back into, Southeast when you worked there and felt, a little nostalgia?
Oh yeah, I haven't been to Lux as much. I went for there was a basketball tournament there for intramurals a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And walking down that long hallway,
Just one hallway.
so long.
Just one hallway.
It was a long walk. That was nostalgic. But being back at Southeast, I taught there, was an administrator there, coordinator, and yeah, there were the same teachers there that I had, and gosh, there have been some really good people that have gone through Southeast. I just saw the band teacher that was my band teacher in elementary school, 5th grade, RJ Mateer, just retiring after 30 years.
Yep.
I mean,
I was there. Yep.
What a good guy. What a cool career he had. And think of all of the lives that he has impacted.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us.
Yep, literally.
Right?
Yep.
Like, I mean, I still remember him being my band teacher in 5th grade. I didn't continue it. But I still remember that. And I remember him when we'd go in for practice telling stories about, gosh, guys, you have something to look forward to. Let me tell you about my morning over at Southeast when I was doing marching band rehearsal this morning. And I remember that.
Yeah.
And
they can trust that because you've literally walked through those halls before.
Yeah. And I just had him for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the kids that have been with him through high school. Dan Doherty was
that was my favorite math teacher. That's so crazy to say that.
Unbelievable.
Football coach, math teacher, all that. Yep.
Dan, if you're listening,
shout out to Mr. Doherty. My locker is right next to the classroom.
And he was out there all the time.
Yep. Every day.
Every passing time he was out talking to either teachers or kids. And Jeff Storr, I had an opportunity to work with him as a coordinator, and he taught me so much. Still someone I keep in touch with. I could go on and on about the people that were there that just made such an impact on me, both as a student, as a teacher, and as an administrator. Also an athlete. I mean, Ryan Gatula was my high school football coach, now administrator over at Southeast too.
Great administrator as well.
Really, really, really good people that just make huge. They shaped me. And continue to shape others in whatever capacity it is. I know that Dan is still subbing almost on a weekly basis, probably, and just really, really fortunate for myself. So
I remember one more teacher to shout out, Mr. Jefferson for me at Southeast. He was the first Black teacher I ever had.
Wow!
And I remember just being like, "This is cool." And he's teaching art and pottery, and like his younger brother was on the basketball team when I was there at the same time. So it was just like. It was just one of the coolest things in the world to be like, oh, okay, we don't have to just play basketball or rap or, we can be art teachers. We can do all this. And he was one of those just cool teachers that set that, like you said, that foundation of like, no, look at other stuff. Don't just think that this is all life is for you. But
so I mean, going back to your first question, just the importance of education. Importance of teachers. I thought maybe it was your second question, whatever it was, but what teachers do on a daily basis, we just hammered it right there. Like we, in a matter of 5 minutes, rattled off the names of however many people that, and again, we could go on and on about the really good people. It could be the show if you wanted it to be. I mean, just solid people that I still hold near and dear and keep in touch with on a daily basis. So.
And that's a big shout out to like the counselors as well. And, the cafeteria ladies and everybody else at the schools, because the unsung heroes are some of the people that do some of the most work. I remember I was a new kid at Pound, and the guidance counselor, I'm trying to blank on her name, and I had it right before we started, and it's going to bother me. But she had talked to my mom, had just gotten to know me, found out who would be a good friend for me, and like just had a plan for my first day. And it's like, you probably didn't have to do that. You probably didn't have to go out of your way, but they're always just, going out of their way, going above and beyond. We're going to take a quick break here real quick, though. We'll be right back here with Colin Clare.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service, but it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free, so visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th. Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
National Electrical Safety Month is held every May to raise awareness about the importance of staying safe around electricity. Visit les.com/safety for safety tips on power lines, tree trimming, storms, and so much more.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back here with Colin Clare, associate principal at Pound Middle School. I was kind of doing a little research on you before this, Colin, kind of get my little hot ones deep dive on, And I found out something I didn't know, and I feel like I know you pretty well. I didn't know you walked on in Nebraska.
I did, and it was only for a year. But yeah, I did for a year, and boy, it really was a good experience. We all grow up Husker fans with a dream to.
I mean, look at our studio.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's you have this dream playing football as a young kid to go on and do it. And, I'm 5'10", maybe, and weigh 100 and, well, I'm not going to go into weight, but definitely a different body structure than a lot of other football players. And, it's like, okay, what opportunities do I have? And okay, I could kick a football, and, was fortunate enough to have that opportunity, but, it fizzled out after a year. That life is challenging, and those student athletes, man, they grind. They grind. And that's why I'm all in favor of this NIL stuff. And I know that's a whole different topic that I'm sure you guys cover on a frequent basis over here in the Ticket.
Never heard of it.
Let me tell you all about it. Just kidding. But those guys and girls, I mean, they grind, and I appreciate the work that they do to be able to, again, support our community and represent our community. I mean, our student athletes here are phenomenal.
And it's extracurricular activities is just something that's so important. We always do that at Lighthouse. We talk about how having hobbies and have different things is just as important as doing good in school. When you were back in school, did you have other hobbies like that? Football, band, anything like that?
Yeah. My dad forced us to be in choir. Yeah.
Let's hear something.
Can you cue me up some? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I did choir. I was in different clubs throughout. And then, yeah, I played football and baseball for a couple of years, had a few shoulder issues. So I switched over to soccer for a year. After my senior year of football, I had to get my shoulder fixed. And so then I ran track for a year, and, I wasn't any good, but it was fun. I remember Dave Niebel.
Oh yeah. Oh, legend.
I have a story about Dave Niebel. So he came, and my senior year, they were going out to Grand Island for districts, or maybe not districts, some tournament.
Yeah.
Clearly I was not engaged in what they were doing. I really like the
Just
social
going to
aspect
run.
and the exercise aspect. And Dave popped into like my first period class and was like, I wasn't planning on going. Because again, I wasn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave said, hey, we need you to go and run the 800. And I was like, okay, well, I think that's a long distance race, and I'm a sprinter. He's like, no, you'll be fine.
That's 2 times on the track for y'all who don't know. 2 times on the track.
It's a long 2 times too.
Yeah.
And he said, do you have your track stuff here? I said, no. He goes, okay, I'm going to excuse you next period. Go home and grab it, because we're leaving here in like the next, I don't even know how long it was, but I drove home, which again, probably nowadays you can't do that.
Yeah.
And grabbed my track stuff and went. And I ran around. I couldn't tell you my time. I did not get last place in the heat. I was like right in the middle of the heat. And I got to the end and like crashed. And he walked over and he looked at me and goes, yeah, that was pretty good. And walked away as if I'm like, I look at him, I'm like halfway dead.
That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. It still might have been.
I remember
yeah.
Mr. Niebel, he was a legend there, cross country and long distance. I remember doing strength and conditioning in the Prosh gym above that and running just around it, and him be like, you'd be really good at the 800. And be like, okay, cool. Then looking what the 800 is, I was like, no, never. I would never do that. Dude. Running for not a consequence, I'm good.
It's that race is a bear.
Yeah,
for sure.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
Now, bringing up the extracurricular activities, how important do you think that is for like your students in middle school? And middle school is a little bit different because we don't have in Lincoln, we don't have the sports teams as much as we do. We have, intramural basketball, but there's not like a, the high school or middle school football like they have in Omaha and stuff like that. What are some of the extracurriculars that you find like super important that you guys offer?
So Pound is pretty unique. Well, I guess all of the middle schools offer archery. Pound offers it for free, and I guess I can't speak to all the other middle schools, but I know that there are some that don't, because they take them outside of there and to areas outside of their school to go and practice, and so they have to pay. So of course it costs families some money. Pound is unique because we practice in gyms and our coaches do it pro bono.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know this about archery, but like Saturday days into the evening is like, that's when the tournaments are.
Oh, wow.
And so, again, going back to all the things that teachers do, there are things that they volunteered to do to help support kids and get kids interested in something, competing in something. Anytime you can get a kid involved in something that's bigger than themselves, man, that's when kids are really down a positive path. It's when they're not involved in something that is, that's when you get a little worried.
Yeah.
And so I think I can't preach that enough, but then you get to 7th grade and you have all sorts of intramural opportunities, in 8th grade, all sorts of it. But then you have, vocal music. Our vocal music program is phenomenal. We have teachers that are willing to get up at 5:30 a.m. to have a 7 a.m. practice before school, and then families that are willing to drive their kids to school at 7 a.m. and then kids that are willing to get to school at 7 a.m. to be able to be a part of that and practice in that and then perform. Band. I mean, I was just in our band room the other week. Dr. Howell, shout out. He put on, his kids were spectacular.
Yeah.
And, looking across the crowd at these kids, I see them running around with friends at recess, but then it's like, holy cow, you can do that too. Yeah. It activates a completely different part of their brain that doesn't get activated unless they're involved in something like that.
And they're
So,
sitting down quietly doing it too. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen you sit down before, but now all of a
Yeah.
sudden you can play the trumpet.
Oh,
Like,
and you're good.
yeah.
You're good. So, you know, I would say that there's plenty of opportunities for kids to get involved.
Mhm.
You know, and I think the schools do a really good job of selling that stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about RJ being there. There's high school folks that come in
Mhm.
and help get those kids interested in that and show them what's down the road. I mean, at the high school level, RJ, Gary Shuda, they put on phenomenal groups that really do cool things. So I just, and I have a brother-in-law that was the former drama teacher slash he was there. He did all of the theater performances
too, yeah.
and yeah, I mean, you get kids behind stage that are willing to do that stuff as well. There's another opportunity for them.
It's crazy. The tech stuff is always cool to me because those are the kids that don't want to be noticed, but they want to be involved. And it's just like you can be involved without even being on stage. I always value that part. And I was going to just add a little funny story from when I was a kid back in band, just how important band is. I was not good at the trumpet. I could not read notes. I could not do anything, but I loved band. And there is a picture on my mom's refrigerator still to this day of a side shot of all the trumpeters playing, and all of them have one note down, and it's just me smiling having no note down. And it's just like that's exactly what band is. Like, who cares if he's having fun, just let him play the wrong note. And sometimes kids just need to have an outlet somewhere else besides just sports or home and video games. And that's why I think band is also just so important, even if you're not good at it. But
We got during my time at Southeast, there's now it's a wall of honor for people that are involved in vocal music, band, orchestra, that sort of stuff that recognizes those kids too, because there is a huge importance on that sort of extracurricular that again gets kids involved, allows them to kind of activate a certain part of their brain, but then being a part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, I think the whole being part of something bigger than yourself is so important for these kids because there's so much of that, nonchalant. I don't care about things and I don't need to care. It's not cool to care, but like, it's cool to care.
Heck yeah, man.
I'll never say it's not cool to care.
Heck yeah.
So just going back a little bit, what does mentorship look like for you? What would be how you would describe being a good mentor? Because that's what we try to be, as even if it's not for a specific kid, like I'm mentoring this kid, we're mentoring groups of kids, we're mentoring whole classes. What do you look for? What does that look like for you? Mentorship.
Man, I would say I don't have the greatest, I don't have the perfect answer by any means. And the reason that I even know is just from learning from my own mentors and teachers or parents or friends of mine or just people that I've tapped into for help and guidance. And through them, I think the biggest thing is just the relationship that you have. I think the second that someone feels comfortable with you, that's that's not something you can like force upon people, right? Like you can't walk into a room and expect everyone to feel comfortable with you.
For sure.
It takes time. But I think, I've had relationships with kids that where they've been upset with me and not wanting my feedback or my guidance. And, at the end of the day, it's just like, hey, I'm not going to force that.
Yeah.
But when you're ready, my door's open.
100%. That's
and
important.
And I still have a very, very vivid memory of a student that walked. Finally, months went by, and I was just wondering, and this individual was not doing well, and all of a sudden, like slowly, their head peeked around the corner of my office, and I said, "Hey, you ready?" Yep. And here we go. And so I think willing to be patient with that. But then again, making sure that you're given honest and true feedback. There are times, of course, that I have to discipline is a part of my job.
Yeah.
But there are times also when it's like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and throw the book at you. My job is here to coach you through this and make you better. And the ultimate goal is while discipline is a part of it, the ultimate goal is to change behavior.
For sure.
Because when they get to high school and beyond, I want them to have something, to be able to think back upon. I'm not expecting everything that I say to be stuck in their brain, but I think being someone that's willing to coach kids and just be able to support them in times of need, but also celebrate them and their successes is really important.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take our last break right now, and we're going to come back here with Mr. Claire on Be a Beacon.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Authentic Mexican food is not always easy to find, but you can find it in Lincoln at Tacos Los Hermanos. Their birria tacos are worth the drive from anywhere in town, but their chicken, chorizo, al pastor, and asada tacos are also worth the trip. You can also try any of those meats in a burrito or quesadilla. You won't find a better toppings bar in the area or better dessert options. If you can't get there, don't worry, they do deliver as well. Stop by Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock Streets in Lincoln.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT, from cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
At Allo, we go beyond internet, bringing you faster speeds backed by an all-fiber network. We go beyond TV and phone service, delivering reliable, crystal clear connections. We go beyond customer service with local teammates and no robots for a hassle-free experience. We go beyond value, offering transparent prices with no contracts, hidden fees, or data caps. We even go beyond our office doors by working, hiring, volunteering, and living in the communities we serve. Go beyond fiber. Sign up today at allofiber.com.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Now back to Be a Beacon with Lighthouse on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back with Colin Clare for our last segment here. We're going to wrap things up here. I have a few just quick questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Yeah, man.
Just kind of get to know you a little bit. You know, we want to get to know our admins, you know? So you're from Lincoln. What would be like your favorite place to eat here in town? We were just talking about food.
Man. Okay, if I'm going out like my wife,
it's almost dinner time, so
I think my wife and kids are listening. So Noah, Georgia, Morgan, love you guys. My wife and I love Momo's. You ever been there?
Yeah, I actually just went to the farmer's market on Sunday, and Momo's was there serving out pizza at the
they
farmer's
really?
market. Yeah, it was, and they had like an 8-year-old pulling it out of the brick oven and everything.
I didn't know that.
They had a brick oven there at the farmer's market. It was
That had
really
to be new
good.
this year then.
It was so good
down there because they haven't had that. But yeah, we love going to Momo's, and honestly, we used to live just up the bike path from there, and so we'd walk there before kids, like for lunch on a Saturday afternoon. Lunch there's phenomenal, but they do a great job. So we love Momo's.
So you shout out your kids. I gotta do mine. Okay, shout out. Hey Avery, Audrey, I love you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, since we're doing this, you know, in the hallways, do you have like a go-to saying that you feel like you say all the time to the kids? I know I definitely do, but like the kids always have, oh, Mr. Clare always says this. Or just, is there something like that you say in the hallways? Any catchphrases?
Okay, this sounds weird, but I'll walk by kids and be like, howdy, how we doing?
Yeah.
Howdy, morning. Yep. Good to see you. Glad you're here. That sort of stuff. Just very, like I try greeting kids when they come in the door a little late, and you know, I love, after a while, you know, I'll just say, hey, it's great to see you. Great to see you. After a while, I'll joke with them like, you're late.
Yeah.
And like they'll look at me and I'm like, no, it's good to see you.
I think the best thing about working with kids is when you've built that relationship where you can kind of talk trash back to them. Like one thing at Lighthouse that I do probably too much, but I don't even care. When a kid comes in the door, they ring the doorbell, I open the door and I go, oh my God, are you serious? And then they walk in, I'm like, never mind, you know, I'm just joking. And it's just an easy icebreaker of like, you know, Drew's joking. He's not mad to see you. And I think it's 99.9% successful so far.
The banter's always fun, and I always
so
tell
fun.
kids I appreciate the banter. So.
Dropping a skibbity or Ohio every once in a while and seeing what they do, you know.
I don't even know what that means, but we'll go with it.
It could be a cuss word. I'm sorry, Harrison. Now, if you could write a note to every middle schooler at your school, what would it say?
Man, you're getting deep.
You know, that's what I do.
I think I would just say you've got potential. 10 years down the road, I always use the 10 years down the road. You know, I want you to be able to look back and say, I'm glad I did that, or whatever that is, and not 10 years down the road, look back and say, I wish I would have done this differently.
Yeah.
And I do that right now. Like 10 years down the road, I say, I hope I look back and say, man, I'm glad I did that, versus I wish I would have done that. And so it's no different. We're all a work in progress. And so I think that's what I would say is, you know, reach your potential. Don't try to be anything different than you.
Oh, I love that. And I guess one of my final questions before we kind of wrap up here, I just want to, what gets you excited? You know, this is a very stressful job. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of every day is different, but what gives you hope?
I heard today a number that there's no, I'm not even it's not even that. I would just say like these kids, whether they are in trouble, not in trouble, frequent flyers in my office, you know they there's little glimmers of light that you see with them. And during those glimmers of light, that's what gives me hope, is like, hey, you made a bad decision, but you rebounded. And there was a kid going around in the lunchroom the other day asking kids, what's more important, the past, the present, or the future? And I'm like, holy
Who
cow.
is this kid?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man.
He's never going to be an ASP.
And I just thought, what a cool thing to think about, is that you can't take back what you've done, and the present is maybe an outcome of what you've done, but then the future, there's always that. Yeah. And so the current present makes that future. So I think that's what makes me excited, is seeing those glimmers of like you have grown, and that makes me pumped.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about ASP as well, is just seeing that growth and seeing when it clicks. I really thank you for being here, Colin. I really appreciate you being here.
Drew, you do great work.
Thank you.
And we appreciate all that you do too.
Thank you. Well, folks, today we saw just how much happens behind the scenes to support our kids, and how big of a role schools like Pound play in our community. I just want to thank Colin for being here. Thank you guys for listening. And always remember to be who you needed and be at Beacon. Right? Thank you.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.